What is going on, Dragon Ball fans? Welcome back. It's your boy UnrealNetwork, and today we're going to be talking about Gohan in the Tournament of Power. Now, a lot of people, after watching Dragon Ball Super, have a firm belief in Gohan, and I'm going to give you some reasons as to why I believe Gohan is going to be a force of nature in this tournament. Now, first things first, I think we can all agree that in terms of power, yeah, sure, I mean, there might be people out there stronger than Gohan, but within the actual Tournament of Power, how many people are actually going to be smart enough to not worry more or less about their power, but to worry more on tactics, on throwing their opponents out of the ring? And what I mean by that is just because Gohan isn't as strong as Goku, Vegeta, Jiren, Hits, Toppo, doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be the oddball out. And I do think that after retaining his ultimate form, Gohan is going to be a force of freaking nature. And the reason why is because he's a really smart fighter. He's not a dumb fighter. And with his tactics, with the Solar Flare, with the Masenko, with the Kamehameha, with various other attacks and techniques that he knows of, I do think that Gohan has a probable chance of surviving and making it very far in this tournament. Now, in terms of outlasting his father, I mean, that can be already a given, depending on if you guys want to look at the instant transmission. If you want to include that, that is a very, very crafty technique you can actually use in case you guys are being overwhelmed with opponents, or if case, for example, if Goku begins to feel the plethora of fighters upon him, he can just use instant transmission to move out the way. And Gohan doesn't really have that option in his disposal, but what I do think Gohan has is the ability to survive and keep himself afloat. Now, the only flaw that I've noticed so far in Gohan's arsenal is the fact that every single time he's blinded, i.e. when he fought Lavender, i.e. when he fought against Krillin, and his eyesight was, pretty much out of play, Gohan was very vulnerable. So I do think that if someone were to blind Gohan, I think that'll disturb his senses, and I do think that that'll throw him off guard. However, I think that without this having to be implemented within the tournament, I think Gohan has a chance. But if you were to blind that man, I think that is the only way you have a chance on throwing Gohan out the ring, is because once he loses his eyesight, it's going to be really hard for Gohan to more or less focus on the people around him, the opponents around him, because he has to really keep an eye out for a little over 70 fighters, and it's going to be quite hard to keep your, key and senses on one person when you have several others coming after you. So I think that if you were to blind Gohan, that right there would pretty much solidify his elimination if you were to blind him. However, if you don't blind Gohan, Gohan is going to be a problem. Now, we've seen several times before in the history of Dragon Ball where Gohan has proven to be a reliable source when it came down to fighting, when it came down to him throwing down. And I think that, yeah, sure, a lot of us may be looking at Goku and Vegeta and other characters from the other universes like Hit to claim the victory here, but I mean, who's to say that Gohan isn't going to outlast everyone and prove everybody wrong? And he does have the ability to do so. It just more or less depends on him and the way he interacts with the fighters. As I said before, if he fights Lavender again and Lavender poisons him, because keep in mind, I mean, the poison is a part of his body and in technique and whatnot. So if he were to lose his eyesight again, I think Gohan's finished. I don't really see Gohan unlocking a new form, nor do I believe that Gohan necessarily needs a new form. I do think that as of now, he should remain in his ultimate form and carry on from there, because his ultimate powers could gain him the victory if utilized correctly. But I think that a lot of us are overshadowing Gohan, and especially if it comes down to him working with Piccolo, if it comes down to Gohan working with Krillin, if it comes down to Gohan really pouring his heart out into working with his teammates, I think that only then he's going to be a force of nature. And even though he wouldn't be as strong as his dad or anybody else in terms of tactics and fighting with his brain, I think that Gohan is, a probable chance of winning this. He has a probable chance of winning this, and I do think that even though he might be thrown out, and I do think that at some point he may be thrown out, I would like to believe that at some point our, estimated fighters to win this, like Goku and Vegeta, get thrown out, and it's down to Gohan to win the tournament. So comment down below, what are your overall expectations and thoughts for Gohan? Do you guys think that he has a chance to win? Do you guys feel the opposite and think that he's just going to get slaughtered? I mean, post your comments down below, because Gohan has been a very interesting subject to talk about as of late, and I want to know your thoughts down below, guys. Thank you all for watching. As always, if you guys are fans, don't forget to hit that subscribe button on your way out.